Tens of millions of people have Chase credit cards, and some are still making rookie mistakes that can be avoided. Just like all credit cards, Chase has a jungle of fine print and rules and potential roadblocks to go along with the perks and benefits of being a cardholder. Think of it like Mario Kart. There are shortcuts if you know where to look, but there are also banana peels everywhere waiting to trip you up. So before we jump in, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, you might make one of these mistakes and end up giving free money back to the bank. And trust me, no one wants to be that person. There's a reason why Chase credit cards remain a dominant force in 2025. Take the Chase Sapphire Reserve, for example. It now delivers over $2,700 in annual value according to Chase itself. That includes perks like airport lounge access, annual travel credits, food delivery memberships, and travel protection that can save you a fortune if something goes wrong on a trip. But before you think I'll just sign up for every Chase card and rack up all these perks, remember, Chase doesn't make this a free-for-all. They've built in a maze of rules and restrictions designed to make you plan carefully. And that's exactly why we're covering 8 of the biggest mistakes people make with Chase credit cards. You want to avoid these. It's like discovering cheat codes in the reward game. You'll unlock value that most people never touch. Mistake number 1 is settling for a weak sign-up offer. Jumping on the first Chase sign-up offer that you see is like buying a plane ticket without checking if it falls on a holiday weekend. You'll pay more and you'll get way less. Here's the truth. Chase rotates elevated offers throughout the year. So for example, since March of 2019, the Sapphire Preferred's base bonus has been 60,000 points. But at various points throughout the year, elevated intro offers have been made available where you could score as many as 100,000 bonus points. That's a serious upgrade, potentially worth hundreds of dollars in food and travel. So always check multiple sources before you apply. Waiting an extra week could literally mean the difference between a free domestic flight and a free international one. Here's a shocker, not every Chase card earns those coveted ultimate reward points, and that brings us to mistake number 2. Some co-branded cards like the Marriott Bonvoy card or the Amazon Prime Visa earn brand-specific points. That's fine if your dream is to stay in the Marriott hotel when you travel or buy your body weight in ramen on Amazon Fresh, but those points don't give you the flexibility of ultimate rewards. The real gems are the cards that feed into Chase's ultimate reward ecosystem. Sapphire Preferred, Sapphire Reserve, Freedom Flex, Freedom Unlimited, Freedom Rise, and the Ink Business cards. These also allow you to pool points together, and if you also hold a Chase Sapphire Preferred card, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, or the Ink Business Preferred credit card, you unlock the ability to transfer to Chase's airline and hotel partners, and that's when you can really increase the value of your points. Think of it like stacking coupons. Alone, they're good, but combined, they can be a game changer. Now, this next one is an industry observed rule, discovered and anecdotally confirmed over years of customer data points and consistent application patterns. It's called the 524 rule. In practice, if you've opened 5 or more personal credit cards across any bank in the last 24 months, Chase almost always denies your application for a new card. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire or a broke college kid, the system will flag you. So if you're planning your credit journey, prioritize Chase cards while you're still under the 524 rule. Don't waste your slots on cards you'll regret later. It's like wasting all your lives on level 1 instead of saving them for the boss fight. And just to be clear, this rule does not appear in Chase's official terms, but it's enforced so consistently that ignoring it is like ignoring gravity. Mistake number 4 is closing cards instead of downgrading. Closing a Chase card just because of an annual fee is like throwing out your couch because the cushions are a little worn out. Overreacting never really helps. Most Chase cards can be downgraded to a no annual fee option in the same family. So for example, the Sapphire Preferred can be downgraded to the Freedom Flex or the Freedom Unlimited. That way you keep your credit history alive, you maintain your account age, and you preserve your credit score. Canceling outright should usually be your last resort because once you close the door on a Chase card, it may be harder to walk back through it later. Mistake number 5 is ignoring one of Chase's best features, point sharing. Chase lets you combine points across your own cards and also transfer points to one member of your household. This is huge. If you have a spouse, a roommate, or a very cooperative sibling, both your Chase cards can pool your points together, and it's like forming a credit card Avengers team. Alone, you're strong, but together, you could be unstoppable. That teamwork makes it much easier to unlock premium travel redemptions because one big pile of points is way more powerful than 2 small piles. Mistake number 6 is redeeming your points the wrong way, and this is where people tend to lose the most value. For example, if you redeem Chase points for Amazon purchases, NerdWallet estimates you'll get about 0.8 cents per point. That's like trading gold bars for bronze coins. On the flip side, Chase Travel offers way more value. Depending on your card and the transfer partner, you could earn as much as 2 cents per point. But usually the best play is transferring to Chase's travel partners. That's how a stash of points could turn into first-class flights and hotel stays. Who wouldn't want to fly business class across the Atlantic with points from money already spent? Sounds like a dream vacation to me. By the way, if this is starting to make sense and you're realizing Chase cards are kind of more like a treasure chest, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I post deep dives like this all the time, and I don't want you missing the next strategy that could help you do more with your money. Mistake number 7 is forgetting to use Chase offers. These are rotating deals you'll find inside your online account that could include things like extra cashback at restaurants, retailers, or online shopping. Even if you don't use them every time, simply adding offers to your account is good practice. There's no limit to the number of offers that you can add, and if you don't get the chance to use them, there's no harm done. And the final mistake is not thinking long term. Getting the most out of your Chase strategy isn't just about one card, it's about building a portfolio that works together. The people who win big aren't the ones chasing random bonuses, they're the ones building a lineup of cards that earn, combine, and redeem points in the most powerful ways possible. So there you have it, the 8 biggest Chase mistakes in 2025 and how you can avoid them. And if you want more strategies like this broken down clearly, then subscribe right now. It's free, and unlike your annual fee, you won't regret it a year from now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.